Hi, and welcome back to Rose Connections. In case you don't know, my name is Janet Rose, and I am the owner of Rose Connections. Rose Connections is a consulting firm that I created back in, spring of 2020, around the time that all of us were really starting to reevaluate all of the different assumptions that we had made about our lives, about our careers, about our health, about our society that we live in. All of us have been through extraordinary change, but one thing has stayed consistent about Rose Connections, and that is Rose Connections believes that vulnerability is a strength. And when we lead from a place of vulnerability, when we lead from a place of earned and lived experience, that we can create a more trauma-informed world, and that this whole idea is encompassed in this larger idea of heart-centered leadership. And so I really want to challenge the paradigms that we have of what is considered a leader. Is it someone who's tough, or is it someone who is present? Is it someone who is open, or is it someone who's closed off? And that is where I love to play, is with these different kinds of reframing that we do. Originally, when I opened Rose Connections 2 years ago, I thought I was going to be focused almost entirely on nonprofit and government folks who are kind of at that, just about ready to get into management, and who are a little bit afraid that perhaps if they get into management that they'll lose the heart and the passion that they have, but they also might be experiencing a lot of burnout, which then would prevent them from actually being very successful in management. And I know that because I lived that story myself. I talk about it in my newsletter. And so if you have access to this particular video, you might also have access to my newsletter. And if you don't, go ahead and subscribe to that. There's going to be a link for you for that. But when I opened Rose Connections, it was with this idea of a very specific type of client and a very specific type of goal and a very specific social justice oriented idea. And the whole world has completely shifted in the last 2 years, and so have I. When I opened Rose Connections, I was a practicing attorney. I am no longer a practicing attorney. I still, am proud of the fact that I passed law school and that I have a license sitting on my wall right now, but it is also not the end-all be-all of who I am and what I can offer. And in particular, one of the things that I have started offering since opening Rose Connections that was not part of the original paradigm are tarot and oracle readings and Reiki. These are ideas within the intuitive services sort of umbrella that I offer under my Radical Reflections hashtag that really matter a lot to me. They have made a difference for me. Me knowing myself and the content of my own heart has actually made me a much more heart-centered leader, because then I'm not absorbing everybody else's stuff. I know what's mine and I know what's theirs, and I can then create better boundaries around my heart so that I'm not driving myself into burnout and I'm not working 70 hours a week, spinning my wheels and feeling like I am stuck in imposter syndrome. I know who I am. I know what's available to me. I know what I'm good at. And I know where I need more support and where I need more guidance. Knowing those things is the building block, the starting point of heart-centered leadership. I have started also trying to pull back a little bit from some of the in-person trainings that I've been doing. I love training groups, and I love coming in, especially to a nonprofit and training a board on board governance, on heart-centered board governance, or on trauma-informed care policies, or helping a team that helps others help themselves. I love doing that, but it does take a lot out of me. And so I added the intuitive services because it replenishes so much. But I've also started then setting some better boundaries around all of the other training work that I do in person or not. So before I was so rudely interrupted by my iPad, what I was describing is the fact that I'm just stepping back from some of the in-person trainings because they do take a lot of work and they take a lot out of me when I do them, because I'm holding space in that room, and that's a lot of emotional work for me. So as much as I like to do it, you're going to find that my availability to do that is going to be a little bit more limited moving forward. And that's because a lot of my energy is going into my writing projects. I have decided that, while I still have some individual coaching clients that I work with, that is also not the main focus of what Rose Connections is here to do. I am really excited about this idea of providing a curriculum to other trainers to integrate into their processes, to integrate into the work that they're doing. I am not here to necessarily compete with anyone. I want everyone to succeed. And so I think the best way and the best use of my time and energy is to write all the things that I know into a manual and hand that manual off to people and hope that it is going to be useful. Develop a training curriculum around that particular type of framework, so that it can then be used and adapted and shifted in order to fit your lived experience, in order to fit the issues that are facing your community, in order for you to step up as a leader. Instead of me always kind of being at the front of the classroom and telling you what to do, this is giving you a tool and a guidebook so that you know how to wrestle with some of these questions, and you can more trust your own instincts and your own leadership abilities much more. So with that, I have had to dial back on some of these other offerings in order to be able to really pay attention to that book. And every day I'm adding something more to it. I have no idea when it's going to be done, but I just know that I'm really, really excited to share it with you. And speaking of sharing it with you, I am going to be relaunching my Patreon soon, specifically to support both the intuitive services and the writing work that I do. The writing work isn't paying anything right now. Totally fine. The intuitive services really has actually been paying the bills lately. So what I really want to do is reward the folks that have been coming to me for both of those types of things with both a private community and more access and more content that they actually want. I tend to be the type of person that I'm not a permanent fixture in everyone's life. I am not there, constantly tapping them on the shoulder for accountability. I'm the type who you come visit when you need me. And when you're gone, you do what you need to do. I'm always going to be here. You can always cycle back through as often as you need to in order to get the wisdom that you need, in order to get the support that you need, in order to get the community that you need. And with that Patreon, I'm going to have different levels of support that provide, some behind the scenes stuff for the books that I'm writing, as well as some extra intuitive, sort of nuggets of wisdom that I'll be sharing. One of the wonderful things that I've done over the last couple of months is actually revise my website. So I have made both the intuitive services and the consulting much more easy to understand and access, hopefully simplified pricing that makes everything super transparent and easy for you to know what will work for you and what won't work for you. And if you ever have a question about it, there's always plenty of links on my website to schedule a free 30-minute consultation with me where we can just talk about what your needs are and whether there's anything that I offer that could be useful for you. And if there isn't, are there other professionals that I know about that I would really, really want to send you to? So 30 minutes for free, very easy to find me that way. But speaking of appointments, I have some really wonderful things happening for me over the next month. It's my 20th wedding anniversary next week. And so we're going to be going to Las Vegas. We're going to be having a really wonderful time. And then my youngest kid is graduating high school. So this is super huge accomplishments. And one of the things that my burnout took from me was my time with my family. So I am placing some really, really clear boundaries around that. And so I will not be accepting any appointments from May 23rd to May 31st, but June 1st, it is wide open. If you need any of these services that I offer, take a look at the website. Let me know what you think. And I am just so grateful that you're here. I'm so grateful that you stopped by. Please don't please don't hesitate to contact me. If you think that we could work together, if I could train your team, or if there's something that we can offer each other where we can trade those services as well. I'm always open to a lot of different kinds of arrangements that way. So thank you so much for everything, for all the support. I hope you have a wonderful and fulfilling springtime where it's all of this new energy and renewal. And I really do hope that when I have a new update to give you in the summer, that I'll have even more classes that I can offer you, some webinars, all of that fun stuff. So thank you so much for your support. If you have any questions, feel free to email me, Janet, Janet, at rose-connections.com. And I really look forward to the new projects that I have coming up and sharing all of that with you and all of these successes that we are making together so that we can make a better world. Be sure to subscribe to the newsletter and to this YouTube video, since I know actually right now I'm going to be recording a new video finally for the YouTube channel. Finally. Take care and have a wonderful spring.